Flat style flashlights are becoming increasingly popular these days, and Nitecore have stepped in with its own bold take. This is the EDC37, and it doesn't try to be everything at once, so you won't find any RGB lights, no auxiliary work modes, just a pure tactical powerhouse. Here you can see it features Nitecore's proprietary UHi LED system. This is the UHi Max, which has a bunch of these floody LEDs around a central circular spot, all on a single MC PCB, and that's something I've never seen from other brands. Specs-wise, this is likely the most powerful, compact, tactical EDC flashlight available. The Nitecore EDC37 boasts a 3000 lumen spot beam, 450 meters of throw, and an 8000 lumen shield mode, and these are all operatable via a single switch here on the back. Does have a programmable strobe. You can program both stages of the button, the first and second stage. It's got smart heat dissipation as well here on the side and around the head. And incredibly, they've managed to fit in an 8000 milliamp hour battery. The build is rock solid. Just imagine the EDC29 but supercharged. I think this is the ultimate compact self-defense flashlight. So let's take a look at what's in the box. Obviously you get the EDC37 itself, and it does come with a clip here on the back. You do get some accessories. Nitecore sent me this Velcro patch, and I've also got some of these screws here. Now these are interesting. I was wondering what these were, but basically if you look on the head of the flashlight, there are these 4 ceramic glass breaking beads, and this could probably get you into trouble with some security points. So you can actually unscrew these with this tool, replace them with normal screws. You've also got a USB-C charging cable and also a pretty chunky lanyard. Okay, so here is a comparison of the Nitecore EDC37 next to a few other flashlights that I own, and you can see a lot of them have this flat form design. And the EDC23 here, 29 here to the right, 2 of my favorite flashlights from Nitecore. It's about the same length as the Nitecore EDC23. It's like a chunky version of it, but with the capabilities of the EDC29. Now, if you look at under the bezel of both of these flashlights, you can see it looks like they're pretty much using the same LEDs, except the orange pure reflectors there are slightly larger on the EDC37. And around the head, I'd say it's quite similar, but if you look at the body, it's just a little bit thicker. But overall, I still think it's really portable. I mean, if we compare it even to the EDC23, it's definitely thicker, a little bit wider, but it strikes a perfect balance in my opinion. I've got the Wuben X4 here as well, which is slightly smaller, but these are kind of comparable in size. But when you compare it to, say, something like the Acebeam Terminator M2, you know, even the Loop SK05, you know, you can see there is a significant difference in size. You know, it's just a little bit smaller, going to be a bit easier to carry around in your pockets, that bezel size. And of course, I've got a normal, well, not a normal, but a usual tube style tactical flashlight here, the Nitecore MH12SE. And really, when you compare both of these, they probably take up very similar volume. So yeah, I'd say that it's still very comfortable to carry around in your pocket. Here's a little close-up of the Nitecore EDC37, and it has a military styling and feel. It doesn't even look like a traditional flashlight, more like some kind of high-tech device. And I like that Nitecore have used this matte black finish. Feels pretty grippy to the touch, and the body appears to be made out of that same stainless steel plus physical vapor deposition coating that you see on the previous EDC 23 and 29 models. And you know, you can see there's a bunch of cutouts here on the side, so there and on the other side, to allow these cooling fins, these kind of carbon fiber heat cooling fins, to reach the exterior of the light. There are also some cooling fins on the head, along with these cutouts on the body to allow the heat to escape through to the head. And you've got an 8000 milliamp hour lithium ion battery inside, supports 18 watt fast charging, USB-C charging port here on the side. It's underneath this plastic port cover, it's a hard plastic port cover. There is this lock switch on the side of the light. And it would be nice if it was recessed a bit more, but it still requires firm pressure to budge, thankfully. And of course, you have this awesome OLED display here. It's a little bit larger than the one found in the EDC23 and 24. You've got this higher and lower switch here on the rear. Now, both of these are dual stage switches. The high switch controls the lower modes, so you can turn it on, switch through the lower modes, and this lower switch here controls the search and lumen shield modes. So it makes it quite easy to discern which switch is which in the dark, especially, just through touch. I like that the switches are also made out of metal, and they've got a bit of this texture on the back there for grip. Here's a better close-up of the clip, and you can see here it is able to be detached if you want. It's made of strong steel. And yeah, it's not a deep carry clip, quite similar to the one found on the EDC29, but it just means you're going to have faster access to the flashlight as it's going to stick out of your pocket and you can quickly grab it. Now looking at the bezel, you can see there are these 4 silicon nitride ceramic glass breaking beads. And like I said, these can be unscrewed really easy with the included tool that Nitecore include and swapped with some normal screws. That's really going to help to get past some security checkpoints if you need. And, you've got here a glass lens on the front, dual orange peel reflectors. And like I mentioned before, it appears to have those UHi 20 Max LEDs, the same ones included in the EDC29. And you can see getting a bit closer, that center round die surface provides a long range beam with usable flood, while those surrounding 9 square LED die surfaces provide an insanely bright floodlight. There's no proximity sensor, which I like. And I actually ran a ceiling bounce lux test comparing the EDC29 and the EDC37, both on the highest lumen shield mode. And I found the EDC37 was 20% brighter. Now, I don't own a lumen tube, but based on previous switch on measurements of the EDC29, so a few reviewers got about 8,000 lumens. I would estimate the EDC37 to be producing close to 10,000 lumens on switch on, but this needs to be confirmed. Okay, so let's go through the UI. So this switch here on the side, as you can see, is the lock switch, and you've got the lock icon exposed there. So you know that it's locked. Push down to unlock. It's got a really nice sort of spring to the switch, bit of friction required. And basically, you can press this higher button here on the back to cycle between the modes, kind of press halfway to choose before. Say if you want to have like a 15 lumen mode, you can select that before you switch it on, because if you have it, say, on the 1500 lumen mode and you switch it on, it's going to be too bright. Maybe you're waking up in the middle of the night or something like that. So you can choose before. Otherwise, you can switch on the light with that higher switch and just cycle through the modes like that. Pretty simple. The lower switch here, again, you just half press for the 3000 lumen mode and full press for the 8000 lumen mode. Now, something really cool that I found out in the UI is that you can actually program both the half press and the full press of that switch. So what you can do is you can half press this lower switch and then press the upper switch, the higher switch, to go into program it to these different modes. So now I've got it onto an 8000 lumen strobe mode, but I can switch it to like normal search mode or the 8000 lumen mode. If I full press, I can still switch this between the 3 modes as well, and it holds that in memory. I really like this larger OLED display as well, and when you have it on each mode, it displays all this information. You've got the level, you've got the battery percentage, the lumen output, and also if you switch on, okay, it's on 15 lumen mode, it also calculates how much battery is remaining. So you've got 170 hours. So that's the 100 lumen mode I've switched to now, 27 hours and 11 minutes. I think that's really cool. So I ran a bunch of ceiling bounce tests with the Nitecore EDC37, and on the 8000 lumen shield mode, you can see here, you get about 12 to 15 seconds of full activation before the light steps down quite rapidly. And you do have to wait a fair bit before the light actually recharges again. There's a little power remaining bar that just allows the light to cool down before you can reactivate for a second time. Here is a second ceiling bounce test that I ran on the 3000 lumen spot mode, and it's a very similar pattern there. So you get about 12 to 15 seconds of activation before the light steps down. There is a lower sort of step down you can see here, especially on that second spike where I reactivated the search mode after the light had cooled down. And yeah, it doesn't step down as far. Also ran a third ceiling bounce test here on 1500 lumens, and you get about 30 seconds of runtime before the light steps down to about 20% of output by the 3-minute mark. This is the 400 lumen mode, and you can see here the light maintains 95 to 100% of its output throughout the test. Also ran some tests with my Audible Lightmaster Pro, and you can see here on the search mode, I got 485 meters of range. That's just the spot mode, pretty incredible. And the lumen shield mode measured at 421 meters. Even on the 1500 lumen mode, 250 meters is definitely no slouch. CRI ranged from 63 to 69, and CCT was between 5,300 to 6,100. So some considerations if you're thinking about getting the Nitecore EDC37. Now, if you're after auxiliary lights, high CRI outputs, or just a purely floody beam, this isn't the light for you. This is a tactical first tool, and it does come with absurd performance for its size. Second consideration is that there's a non-replaceable battery in there. So yeah, unless you're charging this thing daily, it's going to last you years, kind of similar to a mobile phone battery. The third consideration is that it's not the smallest EDC, but still, the flat style design feels great in your pocket and surprisingly takes up little space compared to a tube style 18650 flashlight. Now, I'm not sure what the price of this flashlight is. I've received it before Nitecore have actually released it, but you know, a light of this build quality and performance, definitely you're going to have to expect some kind of premium. The final consideration is that you get about 12 to 15 seconds of full output before it steps down, and it does generate a fair bit of heat as well. Now, this is normal behavior for short bursts, sort of short tactical use, but yeah, no compact flashlight is going to be able to maintain 8 to 10,000 lumens for long without risking damage unless it does step down. So overall, the Nitecore EDC37 hands down is the most powerful tactical EDC flashlight in its class. Every time Nitecore releases a new model, they somehow outdo the last, and the EDC37 is no exception. While the EDC23 and 29 focused on portability, the EDC37 strikes a new perfect balance between size, power, and sustained usability. The upgraded battery, improved thermal handling, and intuitive interface make it ideal for self-defense and tactical use. I really like that it also comes with some normal modes in there, some lower modes if you want to use it for general purposes. So if you're interested in getting one of these, go ahead and check the link out in the video description. I've got a special discount voucher there. If you have questions about the light as well, just let me know down below in the comments and I'll get back to you. If you enjoyed the video, do me a big favor and click the like button and share it with a friend that might be interested. It just helps me to get this video out to more people. And if you want to see more flashlight reviews and keep up to date with the latest flashlight news, make sure you subscribe. Nitecore EDC37. This is on the lowest mode, so 15 lumens. You can still see it up the front pretty easily. 100 lumens. 400 lumens. Now we're talking. There's a fair bit of light here. This is going to do much better even than a usual walking light. 1,500 lumens, and you're beginning to see, well, you're actually able to see the trees out the back. It's tinting those trees. Okay, now I'm going to put it on the search mode, 3000 lumen search mode, and you can see how it just sort of lights up little areas quickly here and there where you need it. So I might be sort of walking around, oh, see what's under there, and you can put it into that search mode. 3000 lumens, little momentary search mode. Now let's put it on to the 8000 lumen mode, the lumen shield mode. Holy cow. And it's really like having the search mode on at the same time with additional flood LEDs, but I do think that the flood LEDs maybe divert a bit of the power to them as well. So yeah, when I ran the bunch of tests on the Opal Lightmaster Pro, did find the search mode here was better, or through further, than this mode here, the 8000 lumen mode. So I mean, it's still pretty impressive, both modes. Alright, so I'm going to compare the EDC37 to the EDC29. EDC37 to the left here, and we'll go on the search mode first, so that 3000 lumen spot mode. And on the right, we've got the EDC29, and you can see they're pretty similar, except the EDC37 does have a bit of an edge. Okay, you can see it just manages to tint that tree out the back a little bit more. So EDC37, EDC29. Both of these are fully charged, by the way. Alright, let's go on the lumen shield mode now. EDC37 to the left and EDC29 to the right. I'm going to hold them both down, see how long they last. Okay. EDC37, 29. So the 37 is definitely a bit brighter. Okay. They both step down at the same time now. Oh, and there you go, another step down. And interestingly, the 29 is still a touch brighter, even after the step down, than the 37. Okay, and I'm going to go for a bit of a walk and show you the beam pattern. Nitecore EDC37. Let's go through the modes. That's 15100, 400 lumens, 1500 lumens, reaching all the way down the back, and the spot mode there. So the search mode, 3000 lumens, sort of alternating, and 8000 lumens. Wow. Look at that. And we'll go for a bit of a walk. Nitecore EDC37. It's 15 lumens, 100 lumens, 400 lumens, sustainable output in the 400, and 1.5 lumens. And let's put it onto the spot beam. So you might sort of think, oh, I want to see what's in those trees. 3000 lumen mode just illuminates that like
And let's go the 8000. Swap it back out to maybe like the 100 lumen mode. And oh, there we go. That's 8000 lumen mode. It does step down pretty quickly though, as you can see. You can sort of reactivate it again, but otherwise you kind of got to wait until that power remaining display charges up again.